Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I'm Nye.
Last time I checked, I'm still Mako.
And we are going to play as someone else. We got a lot of options here.
Someone else.
We got some options. I have yet to do a dark run with Azazel. Lazarus, I've only done the light themed run. Eden, we've done the we've done everything except for a mom kill by itself and a Polaroid win. Let's go with Maggie. I was planning on doing Maggie anyways, but... So Maggie really wants deals with the devil. Don't want the teleporter. That's a really crappy start. Maggie's already got problems because she's so damn slow. And her only benefit is basically that she starts with all this health. So, denying me, like, a basic, like... Denying me that first item room to be anything more than just the teleporter is terrible. Would you come out, please? Thank you. Appreciated. Key? Chest? Hello. Okay, so it's a lot of money right off the bat. That could be really helpful. Maybe we can get something out of the, shop on a future floor?
Well,
we got Wub Worm.
It presumes on you reaching the shop in a relatively intact state.
That's true. I don't always do that. I don't always reach the shop in an intact state. When I do, I intend to purchase. Larry Jr. Last time we faced Larry Jr., he wrecked me. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. So I really want to get rid of this Yum Heart as soon as possible, because I don't like it. It looks at me funny. Called me names. I'm generally not a fan. Nah, I just don't like Yum Heart. There are so many other items that are so much better that Yum Heart itself just seems kind of meh in comparison. Get rid of you. One more, and we'll have a good run on Larry Jr. Easy Larry Jr., crappy reward. We're just getting a lot of crap. Pun completely 100% intended. I should have gone to the self-sacrifice room. God damn it, am I an idiot. We do have a basement. So that's important. If you didn't know, we're in the basement. We do have an arcade, which is excellent. Really happy about the arcade. Because of all the health we have, we can easily parlay that into something good. This is Aquarius, Trail of Tears. We got this on the last run. Not a bad thing. We're on Curse the Unknown, so I have to keep track of my own health. So right now, we're at 4 health. Pop in here. 3.5. Hello, shop money. Three health, and back up to 4. Okay. So if we see the shop, we're going in. Most definitely. And hopefully we'll get something really good. Perhaps something to replace the Yum Heart with something a little bit more tenable. A little more palatable. I don't think tenable was the word I was going for there.
Useful?
That would be the one I'm looking for. Deck of cards, sure. Yoink. Yoink. And Wheel of Fortune. Not exactly the thing I'm looking for, to be completely honest with you. Okay, so the question is, where, oh where, is my secret room? Where, oh where has my secret room gone? Oh where could it be? Hello.
First try, not bad.
There's only so many places it can be. On the current map, you have, you know, below me or over below the secret room over there. Don't want to mess with that. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, so this is probably just going to be straight to the boss now. Not really much else I could do. Now, I could... Oh, that was stupid damage. 3.5 hearts. What I could do is I could drop the Wheel of Fortune into that room with the blood bank and play a little bit. Justice! Four and a half hearts, I believe. I think we were at 3.5, and then I picked that up, so that should be 4.5. Would you two get down here? I don't want to play choreographed jumping games with you, okay? I want you down here so I can shoot you. That's how this works. Okay, we're gonna put this right here while I'm thinking about it.
Stand still so I can kill you.
Yep. Hold still and let me shoot you. Oh, would you look at all that loveliness? Okay, apparently I'm at 5 hearts and I didn't know it. Let's go fight a boss. Fighting Monstro, who has friends. Monstro, I don't like the fact that you have friends. I liked you better as a loner. Now that you have friends, I don't like you as much.
He was cooler before he was mainstream.
Yep. He was cooler before he was cool. I mean, really now. I still don't know how the Wub worm works.
I think it works the way you had posited it might work when you first picked it up. It looks like your cures rapidly grow and shrink, so I think they're damage pulses.
Potentially. Contract from below. Brimstone. Are we in the mood for a Brimstone run? I think we're in the mood for a Brimstone run. Okay, with that being said, we're not staying on this floor then. Because I don't feel like, not knowing what my health is at. We should be at 2 and 1. 2 and 1/2. Let's go in here. Ow. Well, damn. This is my punishment for taking Brimstone.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. What is this? Goat head. Neat.
You are going to die.
I hope not. I'll put a damper on my plans for the future. What I'd like to do is not die. And you know what? I am certain that with a little bit of work, I could... I have no idea how I okay. I have no idea how I dodged that.
You really shouldn't have said anything.
I really shouldn't have. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I thought I had a little bit more health than I actually had. Which happens, you know? Ow. I'm just taking all the damage. Get my health back up to full. Okay, this doesn't work. We're moving to another character. We have another bad run with Maggie. I like Maggie. She's just, you know, she's so damn slow. She has no damage. I kind of want to go to the other Eden run, to be honest with you. Screw that. We're going to a different character.
I wouldn't mind seeing an Eden run. I haven't seen one.
Okay, well, Eden's a little bit different. So Eden, you get an Eden token every time you kill Mom. And the thing about Eden is Eden starts with random bullshit. So it looks like this time we got Book of Belial and the thing that gives you extra room for extra tarot cards. Hello. So you start with random items, and you also start with random... I want to say it's random stats. Looks like we have some extra damage. Notice that we have no red hearts. We also have no consumables. Is that Robo Baby? That is Robo Baby. So this is not necessarily a bad Eden start. There is some stuff I really wish we had, and consumables are their name-o. But still, not bad. Okay, we can go to the shop if I so choose. What am I fighting?
Spiders.
Oh, okay.
I can... See, that's the thing, like, I can see the screen very well.
I can't.
I mean, it's dim, but it's not dark.
Yeah, for me, it's dark. For me, I can almost see nothing outside of the radius of light. And that's just my screen sucking.
Bottom right. seeing eye commentator. Just there's a
Apparently.
couple of spiders wandering up.
Now,
Well,
now I'm down to half a heart. This
yeah.
may be a restarted run by itself. Yep, there it is. I hate darkness. Okay, this time we have Pageant Boy plus... Ooh, Pony Power. Pony Power? Pony Power. Let's Pony Power our way into here. So the nice thing about Pony Power... I just realized how much health we have.
Mm-hmm.
Why? 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 So Unicorn Stump makes you invincible without any of the other effects of Pony. So you can't damage people, but it's useful every room. I have made good runs with this item. Not this item alone, mind you, but... And we're just having some piss poor runs here. Like, 3 false starts already in 11 minutes.
4, technically.
4? Okay, 4. And there was so... Oh, God. Well, I'm dead.
You have invincibility.
Yeah, but I can't attack while I'm using it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that level of invincibility. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Trying again. My best friend, and... Is that Mulligan? Or is that... I think that's Revenge Fly. So best friend's something we intend to get rid of as soon as possible. And then Revenge Fly is possibly one of the greatest items known to man.
Now, is it just me, or does Eden look different every time?
It's just you. No, Eden is... God, Aquarius again? Eden does change hair appearance every time.
Hmm. Well, it is the age of Aquarius, so...
Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. Hey, Lush, look, I have a trail that hurts too. What's in here? Bum. I actually like that pill. Lemon Party is actually really good. Don't Google that, please. Now that I've said that, someone inevitably will, and all I can say is I told you not to.
Google the age of Aquarius instead. At least you'll have some good music.
Google the Steve Carell version of Age of Aquarius. Because then not only do you have a good music, but you have a really good music video to go with it. And then if you need a good desktop to go with it, you can Google Armor of the 5th Age Tarek. And there you go. Because gems are truly outrageous. I feel as if I've gone as far as I can down that line of thought.
I learned the other day, not just a little while ago, that well, anyone who's watched decent television will remember Samurai Pizza Cats.
You know, I was never able to see it.
You were never able to. Now that is a crying shame.
What channel was it on? That wasn't a Disney thing, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Saying what channel it's on would mean nothing because, again, Canadian, different channels.
Well, the reason why I ask is that I was never able to watch anything that wasn't basically Disney.
Okay, yeah, then you wouldn't have seen it. It was an old... It was from the age, late 90s, or early 90s, late 80s, when, they were converting all the anime cartoons, all the ones they could, into stuff they could dub over easy. What makes it unique and fun is the guys who dubbed it, they didn't receive, for one reason or another, they never received a copy of the script. Like, they never got a copy of the original script. So for the entirety of the seasonal of the 2 seasons that they got, which was the only two seasons of the show that were made, they made the whole damn thing up. And it is by far, it is considered by far some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see. Or at least from that age.
Well, when you're making the whole thing up,
Yeah, I mean, they may still manage to keep it. Well, I won't say this, keep it coherent because that's really not an applicable term. But it's, I mean, just the amount that they managed to do with the fact that they had no idea what they were doing.
I mean, all you really have to do is just watch the video and just, oh hey, look, they're going to a pizza place. Quick, dub over. Hey pal, let's go to get some pizza. I mean. It goes even further than that. I don't think I can do justice to it, really, explaining it to someone without showing it to them. But anyway, hi.
It was a fond memory of my youth, and I discovered recently that they managed to get a DVD version out. There was, for the longest time, it was one of those shows that never had a DVD because the originals were considered lost. Again, this is from the age when stuff like this was common. And more to my surprise, I found that Amazon had two versions from the same people. One was the dubbed version, and then they also sold a subtitled version of the original undubbed.
The subtitle, of course, being the random crap.
No.
Compare and contrast.
The subtitle version was the subtitle version of the original Japanese one. So you could, if you bought both versions.
So wait, they make you buy it twice. You have both, so you can actually have the English and the Japanese version. That's shitty.
It is, but at the same time, I can't. This is on my Christmas list. I'm making this clear,
There's some show that I'm still trying to remember what it was, because I've been trying for years to figure out what this was, and have never been able to figure it out. Because every so often I'll have flashes of nostalgia, and I'll go, I kind of want to figure out what the hell that was way back when. And it was some very Power Rangers feeling show.
Mm-hmm.
Where, let's see, speed up, excellent, Wheel of Fortune. Which had 4 kids in mechs. And the main base was some ship out in an asteroid belt, and there was some alien person who was giving them instructions. I don't remember too much about it past that, but I do remember we had 4 kids in mechs, each of their own different color. One episode, or maybe it was just part of a made-for-TV something, I don't know. But one episode had them going to some sort of ice world where they went down a really long ice tunnel. And one had them go to some sort of very Tatooine-esque area with a very Jabba's Palace style building. And inside was if I remember correctly, it was a giant head on a floating repulsor disc that they had to meet up with for that event. And I don't have anything else. I've never been able to figure out what the hell this was.
No, it doesn't ring a bell, I'm afraid.
And there's Guppy's tail. Yeah, I have never been able to figure it out. The one I have been able to figure out, I've never been able to find a copy of that wasn't just more than I was willing to spend for this movie. You ever hear of a old 80s anime called Eyes of Mars?
Vaguely.
As far as I understand, nostalgia has me wanting to see it just to see what it was. But it was apparently, 1980s, the Japanese government commissioned a movie to talk about environmental issues, basically. But they wanted to disguise it in an actual, entertaining movie. At least this is as far as the story I've been able to piece together from what little I've read on it, trying to figure out what the hell it was. And so this movie got made, and it takes place on Mars, as the name suggests. And the Martian world is going downhill extraordinarily quickly. And so I'm trying to piece together of memory exactly these details. But the Martian world's going downhill, and so there's currently a ship being commissioned to escape. And only the rich will be able to leave or something like that. And there's also, at the same time, there's some I don't know if it was a school or it was more like a prison from what I recall. Hey, look, Fade again. There was some sort of prison or something for, if I remember correctly, witches or something that was translated to very close to it. And that's where our main character is. She's part of this orphanage/prison thing for witches, and her twin just so happens to be the daughter of the really rich mayor guy who's funding this whole get your ass off Mars thing. And there's something called, I want to say it's called the Messenger or something like that, which is there to speak to just one person. It has some sort of message. So, of course, it speaks to our resident witch and tells her that she should tell people to not get on the spaceship because it would be a bad idea. She tells people, no one listens. Turns out, the spaceship lifts off and immediately crashes back to Mars, killing everybody on the spaceship and everybody on Mars as well. Except for the girl's parents, who she somehow got to go into space with no ship, just in spacesuits, and just kind of float there until presumably they die. And then the movie ends with the souls of the dead people accompanied by our witch, led by the soul of our witch, coming to Earth, where they find the Neanderthals and decide that they'll take over their bodies or something. Some weird thing like that. Weird-ass premise. Mostly saying, take care of your planet, because if not, this will happen to you, I guess? Was what I gathered from it. But, really, really weird. But I was always kind of curious to go see it again, but there doesn't seem to be any way to find a copy. There was no DVD release because it was apparently that bad. And the only copies I've ever found were old VHS releases, and I'm sitting there going, I think I'll pass on that. I don't need an old VHS release of this movie.
Yeah, that's something special there.
Yeah, it's just a really weird premise for a movie, but it's one of those nostalgia things. I remember little flashes of it from back when I was 8, and have been kind of curious to see it again.
Well, one of the channels we had for a longest time was dubbed the Family Channel, and it was at one point it was our don't feed him anything because you've got the eternal heart, and I have no idea
know
what
that's what's tempting me.
Anyway, it was at one point our Disney Channel, but it was other things as well.
And Disney hadn't gotten a foothold in Canada?
No, it had a foothold, but the Family Channel just wasn't it wasn't exclusively Disney at the time. It gave showcase to all the Disney, almost all the Disney shows because those were actually half decent at the time. I mean,
really tempted now.
Yeah, but again, Maximum Heart versus losing Maximum Heart, it's just not worth it.
It is so worth it if he gives me something good.
Yeah, but he never gives you anything good in the first try.
There are hearts on the floor. And I have hematemesis.
I'm concerned about the eternal hearts, the thing.
It's going to go away. But I already have 5 hearts plus 6 spirit hearts. I think I'm good.
Well, it's not like I can talk you out of it, so...
Worth it. The moon. Okay, I don't really need that, thank you. What's this? I can see forever. It's actually really good. That'll let me see the top secret room on this floor. And Mom's coin purse.
You have the PhD, so...
Also steel. Tears up. Hematemesis again, and another I can see forever. Not
you use the
best possible result, but still a really good result, and I'm still at max health anyways.
Anyway, aside from the Disney stuff, back when Disney stuff was actually half decent, this was back. This was like back in the age when Darkwing Duck and Aladdin were still major shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the shows, it was also a shower of a lot of really weird. I'm not even
nonsense.
Yeah, but some of it was neat nonsense. and one of it was a spaceship sort of space opera thing about what was essentially a collection of space cadets. And one of the chief things I remember about this series is that there was a character who she had what was essentially an invisible friend. Like, she insisted that this person she kept talking to kept having getting suspiciously accurate information from really existed, but she was like on another plane that only she could see.
I feel as if I've seen this show.
Entirely possible. If this was live action, I should note, like, actual actors. Except that at the end, roughly around the end of the first season, and I use the term season loosely because this show didn't really have seasons per se, there was an incident, and essentially this girl got swapped with the other girl who was in fact from another dimension.
Which just means there's an actor change.
Yeah, but it's still like it was sort of they took the idea and ran with it to make an excuse for it, and it worked fairly well. And it's just like, it's one of the few things I remember distinctly about that show.
See, the only thing I can think of when I think of that is SCP. You know? Like, do you know SCP at all?
The Containment Project?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one.
Like, that just sounds like total SCP material. I have read a disturbing amount of SCP, and that just, that like, if you spin that just the right way, that is a total SCP story. You know?
But yeah, there was, as I said, Family had a lot of... It had a lot of terrible stuff, but it had a lot of...
Do you remember the name of that show?
No, Space... It was, it was one of those ones that had a totally unforgettable name, Space something or other. Hang on, you know what? I have Google at my fingertips. Why am I not using it?
Because Google has failed you for the last time.
Well, the problem with Google is, again, like, if you're searching for something, you have to sort of know roughly what you're searching for. And if you don't have a name to look for, it makes it a lot difficult.
I tend to just start punching in keywords. And just start searching to see what I find.
Well, it's sort of like, you can't just say, Google, hey, Google, do you remember that show that?
No, what I would do is I would punch in Canadian Family Channel, Space Cadet, Dimension, Invisible Friend. Like, I would be punching in those details. Because odds are, someone else has probably made mention of this show, and Google will find that. What do we got in the item room? Crystal ball. Not amazing. Not a terrible item either. Let's go to my shop. Yeah, like, that's how I found some things. And, like, stuff you can't necessarily find that way, that's a great way to find people who will find that information. There's this really stupid, like, random anime I can never remember the name of, and I lost my copy of it, so now I have to go get the name again. And the first time I got it, I found someone who got the name for me using Google. No, I don't remember what it was.
No.
Let's grab that, and that, and permit card for later, health up, and I'll move on. Having some trouble there?
No, suddenly I'm just... Again, as I said, I have Google at my fingertips. I'm trying to see if I have a name suddenly in my head now, and I'm trying to remember if it's the, if it's like the correct...
Oh, wrong with it. Just type it in. Oddly enough, you don't have a finite number of Google searches in your lifetime. You probably should, realistically. Stars. Hearts. Let me get back up. Excellent. That was actually a really good second secret room. I kind of wish it had given me, like, the Joker, but that was not a bad sequence of sequence of card that just gave me. Could you just die, please? Thank you. Nah, I'm gonna stick with the stars. It is only my hope that someday I will become fairly famous, just so this episode can air and enough people can hear that description of that show and to know exactly what it was. I don't even remember what channel I saw it on. I want to say it was a Disney thing, because I used to, I was kind of only allowed to watch Disney as a kid. Don't ask me why. I think my parents were afraid that I'd get corrupted by Freakazoid or something. Which is a shame, because nowadays I go watch Freakazoid, and that show is incredibly intelligent. So I don't know what my parents were thinking. Ow, well, that was a lot of damage I just took for no particular reason. Little Chad has appeared in the basement. Yay.
Yay.
Not real, like, Little Chad is so freaking terrible. It's a terrible item altogether. Hi, every couple of rooms, I'm gonna drop a red heart for you. That may not be at all what you actually need, but you know, I'll make it happen. You know what? I'm just gonna warp the hell out of here. Pyromania. And now we're back in this room. Dat warp, so good. I try to forestall what I hear, like, the viewer saying in my head. And just, nope, you don't get to say it, because I did. Speaking of viewers, I had a comment come in from a viewer the other day. This is going to be a while ago, as of the time of this recording, but... Or at the time this goes up. But it's pretty recent by the time of this recording. Some guy, negative comments on some video. And he was kind of being a douche about it, you know? It was just negative bullshit. And, you know, it started off kind of okay, and it was kind of a really negative comment, but there was criticism there that could necessarily turn constructive. So, you know, I'm always on the lookout for constructive criticism, so I said, okay, well, you know, this wasn't necessarily something... He was telling me that I should turn on easy mode, basically. I'm like, well, you know, at the time I recorded this, which was a while ago, there was no easy mode. That's just not a thing that existed. And so his immediate response is to go off on me. For some reason. Immediate response was to go off on me about that. Damn. 2 diamonds. And I forget the exact comment he used, but it was something, you know, it was something like, you know, well, if you suck this much, you should get this other person to play instead of you, you know, yada yada. And I was really put off by it, and I removed the comment, because that type of negativity just basically isn't needed. And then I just had this thought of, what type of person is this? Should I be concerned with what they have to say? Is that something I should care about at all? So I went up and looked up their profile, because, thank you, Google. And, it is, like, all the comments that they have on Google are all these incredibly negative comments. Just everywhere. Like, it's constant. And on some of them, I mean, I got to agree. There's a couple of comments he makes that I do agree with, but I wouldn't say them in the dickish way he did. And all of a sudden, seeing this, I went, wow, I am not upset about him being a dick to me anymore, because he's a dick to everybody. It's amazing how Google has made me feel better about this whole situation. Thanks, Google.
I have found the series in question, incidentally. I knew it was some weird play on Space Cadets or something like that, and I thought it was like Spaced Cadets. It's Space Cases. Which apparently was also on Nickelodeon at some point.
Ah, that may be where I saw it. That sounds like a Nickelodeon style of show.
Nickelodeon was big on the sort of the live-action stuff for a certain period of time. Especially during their Snick period.
can't remember what the hell Snick was.
Live action Saturday night block. Strangely enough, we didn't get that here. The only reason I know that one is because I happened to watch the Nostalgia Critic.
Oddly enough, I was actually a fan of Nick at Night for a long time.
We didn't get a lot of... Like, we got Nickelodeon, but we didn't get a lot of it. There was a period, like, it was fairly popular, and then it just sort of died out over here. I still remember...
I'd say the same thing happened here, and the only reason I don't say it is because Nick hasn't gotten the message yet.
Like, fondly remember some of its stuff that we got up here. Like, most people, I loved the video game, you know, the game show. Especially most of their game shows, but, you know, me being me, I happen to like the video game one.
Yeah.
But, good lord, you looked at disastrous now.
I mean, they had some good stuff. I just think the problem with Nick is that they just got away from the good stuff. They pulled a Disney Channel. You know? They're like, well, this is a thing that we're good at. Let's get rid of that. Klasky Supo? Oh, no, we don't need their cartoons anymore. That doesn't correspond with what real people want. Like, it's, you know... Rugrats, Real Monsters. Can we put those back?
I couldn't stand Rugrats.
Okay, well, I didn't like Rugrats personally, but Real Monsters.
That was pretty neat. I would like to find the man responsible for Doug and hurt him.
A lot of people like Doug.
Yeah, I was not one of them on that one. Let's see. Yeah, but Space Cases was a show I remember. Family had a lot of stuff like that. There was also one of the long-running channels up here is TV Ontario, because, you know, we need...
Because you have TV and you're near Ontario. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and also... Canada has this weird thing where almost every channel has to have some Canadian content. It's like it's hard coded into the broadcasting laws.
You're making this. I remember watching Northern Lion one time during one of his live shows, and he made a point of telling Nick or Broccoli Smile on the show about all of these people who were specifically Canadian, all of these actors and singers and stuff like that. And he's like, he was when he asked why, he was saying, well, it's part of Canadian education. We, in order to, like he said, in order to defend ourselves against the incoming culture, we have to be able to specifically name all the people who are Canadian. You're making me think that's actually real. I just want to point this out. Look at the look on Isaac's face right now.
Yeah, it's just...
That's terrifying.
But yeah, it is like hard. It is actually hard coded into broadcasting law that most channels have to have like a fixed amount of Canadian made content.
That is weird.
Got no argument from me. Anyway, there was another show that for the longest time, it was one of those things where you knew exactly, like you could explain exactly what the show was about, but you couldn't actually remember what it was called. And it was a puppet show. Strangely enough, it was also a violently Christian puppet show.
That wasn't that Mark Twain's like children's hour thing, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about then.
No, but I haven't seen that one, but I can picture it in my head. Trust me on this one. Like
you can't. You really need to go look this up, because it was meant to be a children's broadcast, and you will see some... Wow, yeah. Go look it up. It's called, like, Mark Twain's Children's Hour or something. And it was a claymation show. And apparently during one episode, the kids go meet Satan.
Yeah. No, this was, as I said, it was a violently Christian... Well, violently Christian... it was a Christian-based thing, but... And here's where people refuse to believe me, and I have no way to accurately explain this. It was good. It used Christian undertones for the story, and it was a Jesus story.
Well...
But... It was good because it wasn't actually, like, it used, like, the allusions without ever actually talking about the Bible, just, you know, referring to, you know, don't be a dick to each other.
Yeah.
And
no, I know exactly what you mean. There's a book series by a author who actually lived right near where I did when I started getting these books, called, if I remember correctly, the name of the series is The Dragon Keeper Chronicles. really stand-up book series, and it's about this young girl who used to be in a fantasy world, used to be a slave, and was. God damn, this makes it so hard for me to go into that goddamn boss trap room when they give me the health up right here. Used to be a slave, but she was able to kind of escape from that when she found a dragon egg. And dragons aren't necessarily rare in this world, but finding one and being bonded to it kind of makes you a very important person. So she was a slave, but she couldn't continue to be because of the whole deal. So, she gradually is brought to a... I forget the name of the location. I want to say it's called the Citadel or something like that. Where a man named Paladin is meant to meet her, and then she, she's on her way there, and events conspire that she can't get there, but instead meets 2 other people, companions, blah, 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 and the story continues from there. What's really good about the story is that it is a very, very transparent kind of allusion to Christianity. Paladin is pretty obviously Jesus. There is a God. There is a God in there they call Walder, and it's got all of kind of the basic Christian tenets or Catholic tenets. I become colorblind at that level. But it's got all the tenets there while not kind of beating you over the head with them. It weaves a good story, and then when there's a potential problem, when evil's about to win, that's when Paladin comes in on his horse and kind of, beats the shit out of things, but also make clear that, you could have done this on your own, and next time I kind of expect you to, and next time she does. Particularly good story, meant for, young adults, so it's not we're not talking, Lord of the Rings level good here, but still particularly fun.
Right.
And it wasn't for a while that I really understood that this was meant to be, a truly Christian thing. So I know what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway, in this particular case, it was called Kingdom Adventure, which really, really generic name, which also made it really hard to search.
Yeah.
For essentially, you've got this stereotypical fantasy kingdom, which is ruled by a good prince, and he has underling. He has not a vizier, but equivalent. And the vizier decides he wants to be in charge. So, and this is all during the opening, the opening credits of each episode. They actually show this. So he decides they take the prince out into the forest and they murder him in cold blood. And they show you this.
Sounds about right for a children's broadcast. Yeah.
And so this guy the prince has quote unquote mysteriously vanished. And
we're taking over.
And they're taking over, and the story sort of follows, the characters who are there, sort of trying to make do with these problems that are going on in the kingdom, alongside, the obvious evil figure. There is no Satan figure in this. It's just sort of, people who could be better and are just evil because it's easier for them.
So this vizier who just flat murdered the prince
is not. He is pictured as incompetent and lazy.
Flat murdering the prince is incompetent and lazy?
Better than doing the right thing. That's the thing. There is a bad guy, but he is he's almost secondary to the plot in a lot of cases.
Understandable.
But you've got the good princess who's supposed to have married the prince, except that he's suddenly vanished, and the prince who is dead as a doornail, and yet he has magically come back from the dead and shows up to Deus Ex Machina whenever things have gotten so bad that the characters simply cannot resolve it, and then gives the stereotypical speech,
and then gets his ass murdered again.
No, he just wanders off again.
This is the best prince I've ever heard of.
He was waiting for something to happen, and I'm not sure that was ever resolved before the show stopped airing. For example, he is the prince. He's sort of the undisputed leader, but he's not the king. From what I understand, I don't know if they've ever mentioned what happened to the previous king. The good, the only half sensible leader of the kingdom, the viziers, I get the names of these different positions mixed up. There was another one who was halfway decent, and he vanished under mysterious circumstances. And the vizier equivalent has this nasty habit of taking people who cause too much trouble and throwing them to this monster under the castle.
As you will, yeah.
Right. Except that the monster under the castle speaks perfect English, is an eloquent gentleman, and is in fact like the last vizier.
Yeah, well, of course. That's how those stories go, you know? Oh, right. I forgot about the eyes.
But as I said, I can remember like just different bits and pieces about the story, but I can't. Now that I think back on it, I can't think of where the story was actually trying to go with any of this.
It wasn't. It was a serial. They don't go with anywhere with their stories. They just go.
I mean, like there was also, as I said, that there was a villain figure, but the villain figure was not presented as a Satan figure. I mean, he was presented more like a no heart than a actual Satan.
I said I was going. Where did I say I was going with this one?
I don't remember where you were saying you were going with this one, because you were running what, Eden?
Yeah.
Have you completed Eden in a particular form before?
I can't. I've done one, but not the other.
Oh, then probably the negative is what you haven't done. I don't know. Does it? I can't remember.
Is the one I have to do. Yeah. What are you offering me? The wafer. Man, do I love you right now. It's a shame I have to kill you. Let's go ahead and make this happen. I mean, just because it's a Christian story does not mean it has to be bad. Yeah. It really doesn't.
It's just I remember when it wasn't, just stereotypically. I don't know. They're at this point in time, it's almost as if they've had a certain kind of. You expect a certain thing out of them, and it's not that great.
Well, it's like that's the stories I like, the Dragon Keeper Chronicles. This woman wanted to spread her faith and her love for her religion in this way, in a way that would be palatable. Apparently, she also, according to her bio, she had a young daughter at that time, and her daughter was reading Harlequin romance novels or something similarly as vapid. And she was and the author was kind of upset by this because she didn't like the fact that the novels in question were just so, she called them bodice rippers, basically. Like, it's, very different from the story she wanted. So she went up and wrote her daughter some romance novels instead to make up for it that actually had the values she wished to instill.
Okay, so, I can definitely respect that.
Yeah. And these books that she was writing had kind of the same feel to it, while also kind of glorifying the things that she cares about. So things like, justice, things like bravery, things like, chivalry in some ways. But it was a very, fun series of books. I was actually really sad when she finally finished them, because I was a huge fan of them. Got a couple of them signed, actually, which should tell you to the level of which I was happy with them. And while I'm not religious in the slightest, I really enjoyed them even after I learned what she was heading for with them. Like, it was pretty easy to see where she was heading. But I've also been told that, like, for instance, Lord of the Rings is meant to be a Christian story. So there you go.
Okay, I can't say I see where that one is
really?
going, but
you can't see that I've been told multiple times that Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, both specifically. Star Wars I see more than Lord of the Rings, but yeah, I've been told that Lord of the Rings is supposed to be a Christian story. Like, that's supposed to be the idea. It's supposed to be, it's more like, I guess, from what I guess, maybe Frodo's supposed to be, Christ carrying all of the sins of the world as the ring to be cast into the fire to get rid of them, and he has to suffer for us, I guess. I mean, I think that's the argument that they're going for.
Nope, not seeing it, sorry.
This is just what I've been told. I never really understood it either, but supposedly. Star Wars I see a little bit more, but I get told this stuff all the time. It might be true, it might not be, but it doesn't mean it's a bad story if it is. It just means that someone is trying to tell their belief in a different way.
I mean, like, Narnia was...
Yeah, Narnia, definitely.
Very clearly. And again, Narnia was a fairly good fantasy story overall. I mean, it lost cohesion near the end, but it didn't necessarily, force its force anything down your throat.
I never followed Narnia because the story was the writing was too dry for me.
It like I said, I feel like it loses cohesion right near the end.
I mean, it's not the cohesion for me, it's the actual writing in and of itself. It's very super descriptive and flowery, and there was not enough that actually interested me that would actually keep me going.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. What's another... It's not Christian, but there's another book series that I really wish more people knew about, and I feel like I should... Everybody knows Isaac Asimov. Like, this is a name.
Of course.
Did you know his wife wrote books, too?
I did not hear that.
Norby the Mixed-Up Robot. One of my favorite childhood books, and I find it really hard to find copies of nowadays because it just didn't have a lot of exposure. And it was a semi-future, and this boy is attending a sort of space cadet school. His parents are nowhere to be seen. He lives with his older brother, and part of the thing is that people have robots to help them out with things, and this kid needs a robot to help him out with his schoolwork. So he goes and he picks up, this real cheapo clunker from a scrap dealer because it's all they can afford. And this little guy, he looks like a little. He looks like a little. What's a good term? He looks like a barrel with legs.
Okay.
And this is Norby. And as it turns out, Norby is special. He was modified by this. He wasn't made by this scrap dealer. He was found. And the scrap dealer made some modifications to him, but even he hasn't got a faintest clue where he came from. Norby's got a whole bunch of abilities that no other robot on Earth has, including what amounts to warp drive, short-range interdimensional hops.
Okay.
And they're like, oh god, several different books in the series, and he and his owner sort of go on these various adventures. They find friendly planets, some unfriendly planets. They find out who made Norby. They find a planet inhabited by speaking dragons. Another planet where it's men are judged by the quality of their facial hair.
I hate to say it, I'm beginning to see why this series is not better known. No offense to Miss Asimov.
It's hard to explain again, but it's good, simple fun.
Yeah.
And there needs to be more series like that.
Simple fun is one thing. Okie dokie. Simple fun is one thing. I'm just getting a little bit tired of seeing, I went and looked at the Amazon. I forget what they call it. There's a service you can sign up for with Amazon if you have any device that has the Kindle program downloaded onto it, and you pay $10 a month and you get unlimited books. Which, whenever I do decide to read, which mostly I'm doing other stuff lately, which I honestly that saddens me. So you don't need to tell me how bad that is. Believe me, I understand. I am upset with myself. But when I do decide to read, I have the key, right? Yeah. When I do decide to read, I kind of read voraciously and I just go. So it would be nice for me because it would just allow me to just start reading and not stop until I have satisfied my appetite for the written word. And I was reading through, and I couldn't help but notice book series after book series after book series, but they didn't seem to be... It's hard to describe the difference, but they didn't seem to have, like, the Harry Potter or the Aragon or the, insert book series here's type feel to it of a book series that was meant to be well crafted and meant to be a full thing. The descriptions read more like the, what's a really good example? Like a book that was being churned out for the sake of getting a book out. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head because I make a point to avoid those types of books. But, like, I almost want to say Twilight, because that's really what Twilight always felt like to me.
I've noticed that a lot of books right now, it feels like, are fighting to try and become the next Hunger Games.
I really think they are. I mean, they're really trying their damnedest to be that next big thing. Hey, you. Give me stuff. Why would you give me the virus? I don't want the virus. The virus is terrible. Take this back, bring me something else with a little bit more oomph. Damn.
Anyway, the original Norby books, they were originally in my local library. They were fun. As I said, they weren't necessarily complicated. Like, they were more than just, you know, the sort of thing you'd give to a grade schooler.
Yeah.
But they were fun. There was an ongoing, not quite an ongoing story. Like, they were all self-contained, but they, you know, if you read book 2, you kind of had to have read book 1 to get what they were getting at.
Yep. And the problem is, you started the story off by naming Isaac Asimov, so I'm thinking Caves of Steel, I'm thinking iRobot, I'm thinking...
Yeah, not the same thing.
I'm thinking Foundation.
But what gets me is that, like, and this is a problem in general with libraries, I think, is I went back there a while back, not that long ago, and I found out that they had just discarded the series as a whole. This is something that they've had with them for... oh God, 15 years. It seems like there's a... I don't know, it feels like there is something lacking with a lot of stuff these days.
I direct you, sir, to barnesandnoble.com and or Amazon. Really easy to find books.
Because I'm curious, I'm going to see what Amazon has for this.
Guarantee you. So some time ago, got a fun story, not so fun story. Some time ago, and by some time ago I mean when I was 6. So let's actually put a date on this. When I was 6, my dad and I read The Hobbit. So the reason this really sticks out in my head, because I haven't read The Hobbit and or Lord of the Rings for years and years and years. This only came up recently because because The Hobbit movie's coming out, obviously. To put a date on this video for people who watch it afterwards. The Hobbit movie's coming out, so someone and Middle-earth's Shadows of Mordor came out. And one of my coworkers was asking me, he said, look, you probably read the Lord of the Rings books, right? And I said, well, yes, that is absolutely true. I am that much of a nerd. And he said, look, are the movies good compared to the books? Are they good adaptations? And I thought for a minute, and I said, you know, they're good movies, but I wouldn't call them good adaptations. And he said, why? And I started talking about things like, just scenes that kind of weren't in there, descriptions that weren't in there, liberties taken, like what's her name, the female love interest of Aragorn in the movies who doesn't even exist in the books from what I can remember. Just shit like that. Just stuff that didn't quite fit. Then I said, but the movies are good because of other things. And I described the scene with Gimli where he gets the 3 strands of hair. And he's just pleased that he got 3 strands of hair from, what's her name? The female elf who's ridiculously beautiful. I can't remember her name.
Galadriel?
Galadriel, that's it. So he gets the 3 hairs from Galadriel, and he's just happy that he got it because that's all he asked for. But you have Legolas, who he understands the story of Galadriel's hair and why it's such a big deal that Gimli got 3. He would never tell Gimli that, wow, you should know that you should be honored because what's his name, the most important elf of all time, asked for 3 hairs and he wouldn't get it. So the fact that you got it is a huge deal. He wouldn't tell him that. He knows Gimli is pleased because he got it in the first place. But Legolas also has the story, and he knows that I cannot believe she actually gave that to you. So it's got that back and forth. So I was talking to him about that, and we were discussing things. And I realized it's been a damn long time since I read the books. So I went looking in my books to see if I could find the copy that my dad read to me when I was 6. Now keep in mind, this was 20-some-odd years ago, so this was a long time ago. And a lot of things have happened between that time. Multiple moves have occurred. We had stuff that was destroyed in Hurricane Isaac. So, things have occurred that would cause me to lose this particular book, and it just so happens that it looks like I have. So I decided that I was going to go find this book, and I was going to find it, and I was going to buy it. And lo and behold, Amazon.com has managed to be an amazing thing. It just so happens to have this copy. Now, to let people know exactly how not easy it was to figure out what copy we were talking about. I believe I'm going down. All I had about this copy was that it had a green cover, gold lettering on the cover, and had illustrations. Now, to anybody who knows The Hobbit...
Oh, I think I know this particular version you're talking about.
So most people who know The Hobbit will know this version, if you're especially a big fan. This was in particular, it was the 50th anniversary edition, originally released in 1970 some odd. So just the fact that I could figure out what version it was through Amazon was incredible enough. I also found a copy, which I have not yet bought, but will be buying fairly soon. That was incredible. So this thing that I have not had since I was a child, I will soon be able to have because Amazon is a boss. So that's one thing. Now, a little bit less fun. My dad, unfortunately, killed himself back when I was a young kid. And, there's a lot of memories that I've been trying to catch up on. And some of them were just stuff that he and I did together that I'm trying to get back. And there's not a ton of stuff, but there are just, like, a couple of things that I'm sitting there going, man, I would really appreciate having that. I would really appreciate having that thing right there. So my dad was a real big fan, so was I, of Robin Williams in Bicentennial Man. So we were real big fans, and one day we were watching the movie, and all of a sudden we notice in the credits that it says that there was a book by Centennial Man that the movie was based on. And he commented that he would have liked to get the book. And, at the time I was like, yeah, that would be amazing. Let's go get the book. So we went to Barnes & Noble, only to find out that, nope, this book is out of print and has been for, like, a decade. You're not getting it, I'm sorry. So we went to a used bookstore, no such luck, because they just didn't happen to have it in stock at the time. So, I gave up on it for years after this, because it was like, well, that's it. The used bookstore I know of doesn't have it, Barnes & Noble doesn't have it, therefore, I'm done. And then on a whim one day, my uncle gave me a Barnes & Noble gift card, and at that point I had already had a Kindle, so I didn't usually buy hardcover books at that point. So I was thinking, what do I want? And I thought, wait a second, wasn't there that book? Yeah, Bicentennial Man, let me go look that up. And the actual name of the book is not Bicentennial Man, it's The Positronic Man. And I went and looked it up, and lo and behold, there's Barnes & Noble, like a boss, be it BarnesandNoble.com, hooked me up with a copy that was not particularly in bad condition, that they sent to my house, got within 3 days, and spent the rest of the next day and a half reading it. Like, it's kind of incredible.
The internet has made getting stuff like that a lot easier.
Yep.
At the same time, like, I will, if I'm looking at this now, like, I could probably get the Norby books on Amazon here, well, via Kindle edition, probably.
They have a Kindle edition, really?
For some of them. Not all of them, but some of them. But at the same time, it's also, like, there is a little upper limit on what I'm willing to spend on these. Like, I love Norby, but I don't love Norby for $25. Your average Norby book was going to run maybe 150 pages if it was one of the really, really, really long later ones.
You define that as long?
Well, long for a book of its type.
Okay. I'm sitting here thinking Battlefield Earth going, 150 pages is long?
Yeah, but again, like, for a book of its particular type, for its particular age bracket, bludgeoning weapon books were not that kind of, were not, common in that bracket.
Well, keep in mind, I'm not one to talk. The elementary-ish school I originally went to, was actually a private school because back then my family had was at least mildly well-to-do because my dad was a doctor. And so I went to this, kind of private school up in Colorado Springs, and they had this really big library. And of course, with the type of conceit you only find in private schools, the big kid library was like the professional, really, really big library with the spiral staircase, and it was multiple floors, and it looked like an old Victorian house. The little kid library, for kids like me, because remember I was like 6 at the time, the little kid library was a small little offshoot that only contained picture books. So I remember being a little kid, being in that little kid library, and the teacher left because they were giving us a chance to go check something out. So the teacher left to go check on something, and I noticed there was an open door, and I noticed the big library. So I decided to go in the big library. So I climbed to the second story up a really tight, winding spiral staircase, and found myself a copy of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and started reading it. Just flat, at the age of 6. I remember the teachers were freaked out because they could not find me. They had no idea where I was. And it was funny as hell. Yeah, just, you know, I'm not one to talk when it comes to kids' books. Okay. Can the leech go away, please? This is probably going to be a really hard fight. We don't have the type of damage I would like. Like, at all. Ow. At all. Go away. Nope. Don't do that. Yeah, we, when compared to the last couple of runs that I've gone to Satan with, we have basically no damage.
You're lacking in damage output this time.
I'm a little bit concerned about the potential for Mega Satan, I'll be honest with you.
You are going to die horribly.
There is a distinct chance. At the very least, I'm hoping that we can get our Satan win here. I think I've already gotten the Satan win with
I think you're playing Eve.
No, I'm not. I'm playing Eden.
Eden.
I believe I've already gotten the Satan win with Eden, but I haven't gotten the Dark Room win with Eden yet, I don't think. I'm trying to get these hooves, but the problem is they've got invincibility frames a few seconds after they actually land. So the problem is that, there we go. They're dropping, and I'm not getting a chance to actually do anything about it. Okay, Dark Room!
Well, you still have an opportunity to get damage up.
I do have an opportunity to get damage up. Let's go ahead and pop that, which gives me the Emperor. Believe me, I don't need it. Come on. You know what I should have done? I should have Jared up.
What is Jera?
Doubles everything on the floor. Yeah, we're going to do that. Watch.
Oh,
See?
God.
I should have done that before I started opening the red chests. There we go. Now we're guppy. We're going to leave that there in case I need it later. And that's Pertho. That's change. Okay, what's this? 2 of diamonds. 2 of diamonds. Okay, let's go ahead and re-roll Guppy's Paw into... What the hell is that? I don't know, but I'm taking it. Infestation 2, Infestation Shot. Interesting. We're going to take Pertho with me. Because that sounds like a good, fun time. Okay, let's go through this door. Yeah, I like reroll as a consumable. That is a fun idea, and whoever figured that one out deserves a medal. So all of a sudden, even though our actual damage has not increased, our damage has increased because now we have spiders and flies. Which, that's incredible. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. Man, those things are terrifying. The super leeches. No, don't do that. We need to kill these guys. Okay. Just doing our thing here. Yeah, unfortunately, we do not have anywhere near the damage that we have had on previous runs. So we have to hope. Did I get Guppy's tail? I think I might have... Did I get Guppy's tail?
Yes, you did.
Yes. That may make this floor really nice. Or it might not. It's really hard to say. I'm really hoping. Okay, so there's no, there's no walls to this place, so how did I just bomb my way into here?
You blew your way straight through an interdimensional hole.
Apparently. These things are terrifying. It's more terrifying to know that they can eventually break through those chains. Why? I already had this room. I don't want to have this room again.
Reminds me of a story, you know, the chain chomps in Super Mario Brothers 3? apparently if you let them tug at their chains long enough, they'll actually break free.
I had never seen that.
It takes a lot. It's something... Oh, God.
Okay, we're going to take Proptotis. Short range mega... Oh.
Oh, wow.
I was wondering what made that effect. It's only good for short range. I don't actually want the box of spiders. So we're going to go ahead and throw that into Iron Bar Concussive Tears. Dude, just get wrecked. Just get wrecked.
Short range damage is absolutely through the roof.
Oh, yeah. Now, all of a sudden, damage has become a thing that I have.
As long as you're within about 2 feet.
I will be within about 2 feet. I have no problem being within about 2 feet of my enemies. Because I just do that, and all of a sudden they vanish. Okay, so unfortunately, I doubt I'm going to get another Perthro. Whatever it is.
I was going to say, before you go and face whichever boss you go after, I would recommend getting your Sun card back.
Right there.
Oh, right, because you've got multiple storage now.
What is that? Okay, that's the Satanic Bible. We're going to go ahead and take Little Haunt. Okay, let's use the Satanic Bible in the next room. I'm kind of curious what it does. What did that do?
That gave you a devil heart.
It did. It did that. You're dead. Okay, come on. Give me more chests. Give me more items. I command you. What is this? 2 of spades, some of my keys, because that helps. Hierophant? No. Hierophant? Keep on taking the Sun card with us. Remember, I still have... Oh, I rerolled Guppy's Paw. That's right. I was going to say, I still have Guppy's Paw, then I remembered... Oh, right. No, I don't. I got rid of that.
This is on the topic of books. Now I'm trying to think of some of the other books I've read that I'm quite... that I was quite enamored of back in the day.
I love anything written by Diana Wynne Jones. She's a whole lot of fun.
Can you give me an example? Because I don't remember.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. That's like the most well-known thing of her, but she does a lot of just like 14 writing, so it's not necessarily the best writing you've ever
look at
read.
all those flies.
Mm-hmm. Sure. It's not the best writing I've ever read, but I find her to be a lot of fun, and her concept of magic is generally enjoyable. Like, she doesn't typically do the, I have to, abracadabra magic. She also doesn't typically do the just nature magic. Like, she just tends to vary between it. Sometimes it's, you have to do something to get this magic to activate. Sometimes it's, the magic activates on its own. Sometimes it's, you gotta do a ritual. She makes it, holy crap!
That's a lot of skeletons.
Evil! That didn't do shit.
That gave you another... That turned your soul heart into a devil heart.
Oh, really? Neat.
I remember... They're somewhere in this house, and damned if I know where. It was a set of books based on... Why are you killing the... Oh, you can go back and you can take on...
go back and take on Mega Satan after
I was going to say, there was a series of books... and I can't believe I'm saying this because it sounds crazy to say it. It was a series of books based on Magic the Gathering.
I know those books well. I've read some of them.
There were several different series of books. And I know this particular...
Did I do the wrong ending? I'm feeling as if I did the wrong ending.
I think you may have done the wrong ending. Well, actually, wait, there. It's lit back up again.
No, not that. I didn't see an unlock.
Oh.
I might have done the wrong ending. It's possible this should have been a Polaroid run.
Well, go and kill Mega Satan, then?
We're gonna go kill Mega Satan. Okay, anything I want to take in with me? Emperor, no. Hierophant, maybe. Sun. We got Double Sun.
Well, that's why I
Is there a
suggested...
devil card floating around here somewhere? No? Just double our money. Double our money. But we're taking Double Sun.
I figure you could do worse than heal.
You could do worse than lots of heals.
Mm-hmm.
Get behind me, Satan!
Anyway, it was one of those... And, like, I know the series of books offhand, but it's, strangely enough, it's one of those ones that almost nobody seems to have that much information on anymore.
Okay.
because like I've tried to look it up on places like Google, Wikipedia, TV tropes. It's from the generation that one of the first generation of books where nobody seems to remember too well.
Wait, which book now?
Well, it was a set of books from books based on the Magic the Gathering. And there were several different books, like books.
Like which one? There's which set?
Hang on, let me pull up the actual name.
Grand Trilogy, Brothers War.
Hang on, let me just see. Okay. I'm gonna have
Satan,
to.
would you just die, please? I mean, seriously. I'm wrecking everything you send at me. I would like it if you would just go away.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to actually consult Wikipedia for this one here.
Satan is dead. All hell, Isaac. Oh dear. So far, I've taken a heart's worth of damage. 2 hearts worth of damage. Satan is dead. Long live Isaac. Okay. That apparently was not the thing I needed to do. Nope, I needed a Polaroid run with Eden. Oh well, that was fun.
Oh, come on. I'm trying to remember what this one was actually called. Essentially, it was about a series of... The funny thing was, like, the main character wasn't a wizard. His sister was. And, like...
You're talking about Khan. Khan and, No, Khan? Was it? No. Fist of... Blah, 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 Fist of Croza is who you're talking about. And his sister... Her name started with a J, I think?
She was like very much a druid nature kind of spellcaster.
I can't remember, but yeah, you're talking about I think one of the books was called The Arena.
Arena was the very, very first one in the set.
I know which ones you're talking about. Those are the old books back when back before Jace took over the world. Yeah, yes. I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah, it was I want to say his name was like Khan Fist of Crows or something like that. Garth?
Raquel? No. Yeah, it's just like I said, but Arena was the very, very first one in the set, and Wikipedia doesn't even remember. Like it's got the name of the book and when it was made, but that's it.
It's probably just it's been kind of not as much retcon as it's not important to the Magic story anymore at all. The Magic story has gone in a completely different direction. I remember they have done some retconning of the story, but I haven't followed Magic close enough to know.
Because there were several, as I said, yes, these were definitely the ones. Now that I found a better wiki to look at this, but yeah, there were like several different books like this was multiple books of that storyline. Whispering Woods, Shattered Chains. Yep,
I always liked the Thran, the story of Yawgmoth and his rise into Phyrexia.
Greensleeves. Gull and Greensleeves.
Nope, no.
Those were those were the characters I remember now.
Yeah, but that's not the character in question.
Right.
That's not the warrior or his sister. That was like some dwarf, if I remember correctly, who was kind of a thing.
Gull the woodcutter.
Damn, now you're making me want to actually go look this up, because I forget which set it is. I think it was Onslaught. Because whatever Fist of Crows or whatever his name is, was it Kamal? K-A-M-A-H-L?
Kamal.
Kamal Pit Fighter becomes Kamal Fist of Croza?
Yeah, I think he was mentioned in like Arena, but he wasn't the main character.
Because it's been so damn long. I haven't followed Magic or Magic storyline for years and years and years. Not sure. But guys, that's it for us. Apparently I didn't do the Eden run right. It was supposed to be an Eden run that went to the chest, and I did it wrong. We'll get it right next time. See you guys next time.